pelvic floor going. So we're going to breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, imagine the pelvic floor is like a lift going up to the 6th floor. So both sides, as if you're stemming a flow of urine and a bowel movement at the same time, inwards and upwards. So we'll go inhale, prepare. Exhale, over 6 counts. All the way up to the 6th floor in a lift. So you can sit like this, or you can sit in any way you want to. So we're going to do slow ones. We go inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor inwards and upwards slowly over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right to the top in the lift, and then slowly down through the floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's always slowly down. A couple more times, and then you can practice this on your own, because the pelvic floor being a huge part of the core system. Exhale, we'll squeeze inwards and upwards, both sides of the pelvic floor, all the way up to the 6th floor. Maximal squeeze at the top, and then inhale to come down. One more time. Exhale. All the way to the top, really slow, and slowly down through the floors. Okay, we're going to come straight up to the 6th floor now. So we'll inhale to prepare, and then we'll go straight up to the 6th floor, and then slowly down. Ready? Inhale to prepare, and exhale. Straight up to the 6th floor, squeeze tightly, inwards and upwards as much as you can, and then inhale all the way down. 2 more times. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, straight up to the 6th floor, really squeeze, and then slowly down to the bottom. 1 more time. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, straight up to the 6th floor, and then slowly down through the floors. Lovely. Let's just take the hands to the base of the spine. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, and then take the elbows back, stretching out the chest, and then release. We're going to come down onto the mat, and we're going to do a few pelvic tilts. So I'm just going to come down onto the mat, place the hands onto the pelvis, heel of the hand onto the pelvis, and fingertips towards the pubic bone. I'm going to exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor. So real focusing on the pelvic floor, inwards and upwards, and then inhale, return. Exhale, tipping the pelvis back down towards the mat so that the top part of the pelvis moves down towards the mat. And then inhale, return the other way. So the pelvis is tipping, the tail rises, the lower back moves towards the mat, and you squeeze at the same time. So it's almost like you're tipping your pelvic floor up towards the ceiling, and then squeezing really hard, working with gravity, and then inhale, we'll come back the other way. A couple more times, exhale, really squeeze up to the top, and then inhale the other way. Last time, exhale, squeeze inwards and upwards, up to the top, and then inhale, return. So let's just get the middle point with the pelvis, so not forwards and not back. Go to the middle point, put the hands down, and we'll start to do some circling with the arms. Exhale, bring them up above the shoulders. So keep your pelvis in that neutral point, and then we'll inhale the arms back. Exhale, we'll bring them round and up again. So angel circles with the arms, inhale them back, and exhale, bring them round and up again. And as you bring them round and up again, you're going to draw the ribs in, draw the navel down, and draw the pelvic floor inwards and upwards. Inhale the arms back, and exhale, bring them round and up again. Inhale the arms back, exhale, bring them round and up again. Lovely. If you want to just put one leg in tabletop, that'll increase the work that your core is doing. Just keep your ribs down towards the mat, and then the pelvis in the middle point. Inhale the arms back, and exhale, bring them around and up again. Inhale the arms back, and exhale, you're going to bring them around and up again. So we'll do about 6 on each side. Inhale back, just warming up the core muscles. Really squeeze down with the navel as you breathe out. And at the same time as squeezing the navel down, you can squeeze the pelvic floor in and up. You can imagine that there's a cube inside your pelvic area, and you've got to squeeze the cube as you breathe out. Squeeze the cube. Inhale back. Let's just change legs. So keeping the pelvis in neutral. Exhale. We'll bring them round and up again. So inhale back. Exhale to come round and up again. 3 more times. Squeeze the cube, imaginary cube, inside the pelvic area. Lovely, we'll bring the arms down. Just going to take off my socks so that you can see my feet a bit more clearly. We're going to do the toe taps exercise. So first of all, we're going to start off with one leg just to get the pattern. So keeping the pelvis in neutral, we'll bring one leg up to tabletop so the knee is above the pelvis. It's not here, it's not in here, it's just above the pelvis. And then we just tap down without moving the back. So keep the back close to the mat, so you're using your core. Exhale now, squeeze the navel down, squeeze the pelvic floor up. It's almost like your core muscles are bringing the leg back up. Inhale, we'll tap the toe without moving anything here in your body. Exhale, it comes back up. So same leg about 8 times. Inhale, tap the toe. Exhale, squeeze down with the core muscles. Hollow the abdominals. So Alana, bring the foot a bit higher. Exhale. So a bit more than a right angle with the knee. Inhale down, tap. And as you exhale, move the tummy down towards the mat. Shrink the tummy exactly. Inhale down. And exhale, shrink the tummy really strongly. Inhale. Really squeeze the pelvic floor. And we'll try it on the other leg. So we're going to go exhale the other leg up to tabletop now. Just check you've got your knee directly above the hip. The foot is a little bit above the knee. And we'll inhale, tap the toe. And exhale to bring it back up again. So all the movement is in your hip. The knee just stays the same when you keep the lower back down on the mat and then shrink the tummy as you bring the leg back up. Breathing out. So we go breathe in to tap, breathe out to shrink the tummy, breathe in to tap, breathe out to shrink, breathing in to tap, breathing out to shrink, breathing in to tap, and breathing out. Lovely. So keeping that leg there, we're going to keep the lower back down on the mat. Okay, that's the most important bit. Imagine trapping a butterfly under your lumbar spine. Okay, so you're really using your core. Keep that lower back down. Let's come up to tabletop. Okay, so we're going to take the knees a little bit apart now towards the shoulders, and we're going to stretch one leg out. Keep that lower back pinned down. So it's not crushing down into the mat, but it's really firmly towards the mat. So let's do single leg stretch. Big breath out, squeeze the pelvic floor. Squeeze the core muscles, squeeze that imaginary cube. Keep the lower back down. We're going to have a little look what you're doing. Good. Try to stretch the leg out fully. Try to keep that lower back down. If you feel that it's hard to keep the back down, then come back to the exercise we were doing before until you've built up a bit. So the leg comes out away from you at a slight diagonal, and you should really feel a sense that you're really squeezing in with the core muscles as the leg moves away and you're breathing out. I'll do it with you again. Keeping the lower back down. Each time I'm really squeezing the pelvic floor. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to tabletop. Okay, we'll put the legs down. Let's take them a bit wider than the pelvis and squeeze the bottom to come up into glute bridge. So we're going to go inhale down, keep the back straight, and then exhale to come up. Inhale down, exhale up. Squeeze the pelvic floor a little, squeeze the navel down. Doing well, keep going. Nice and smooth. I'm going to bring the arms up above the shoulders as well and keep going. Exhale and inhale. Make sure the movement's coming from your glutes, from your bottom, not your lower back. So don't lift the lower back, lift your hips. Squeeze the glutes to lift the hips up off the floor. Exhale as you go and inhale down. Exhale, keep the back straight. Inhale down. Lovely, coming down back into this hook flying position. Let's bring the arms up above the shoulders. Keep the shoulders down on the mat. Let's do a little arm scissor. Inhale, one arm comes back. As you change sides, squeeze the core muscles. Exhale. Exhale as you change. So I'm going to take a breath in between, and then I'm going to, you should see my tummy move down towards the mat. Let's do it nice and slow like that. Pelvic floor and navel down. Two more. Lovely. Bring the arms back down. Let's just come back up to tabletop again. And we're going to do the second part of the toe taps exercise. So if you want to, put one foot flat on the floor and just tap the toe again as we were doing. But if you feel you can progress, keep your lower back close to the mat. So it's really important, particularly if you're newly postnatal, you need to keep your lower back really strongly down towards the mat and only do as many as you can. Don't push it. This is not a sort of to the burn exercise unless you can definitely keep your back in neutral. Push down a little bit with your lower back and squeeze the pelvic floor. Squeeze the navel down as you go. Brilliant. Keep going. So inhale to tap. Exhale to come up. and squeeze that cube, that imaginary cube that's inside. So if you've got one foot on the floor, do the same leg 8 times. Inhale, tap. Exhale, bring the leg back up. Great. Inhale, tap. Only move the hip. Don't move the knee. Keep the knee in that right angle position. Just move the hip. Exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor to rest. Yes. Brilliant. Inhale down. Exhale to come up. Excellent. So do each leg about 8 times if you've got one foot on the floor. Otherwise, if you've got 2 legs in tabletop, keep your shoulders nice and relaxed, low to the mat. Keep a rib to hip connection so your ribs are a little bit down towards your hips. They're not flaring out. Inhale down. Exhale, hollow the abdominals. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the lower back still. And then once we've finished that, we'll put the legs down and have a little rest. And we're going to do one more set of single leg stretch. So we're going to go. Exhale, one leg to tabletop. Keep your lower back down on the mat and exhale the other leg up to tabletop. So we're going to take the knees a little bit apart. Both legs are in tabletop. And remember this one, keep your lower back close to the mat. Squeeze the pelvic floor. Exhale, exhale. Keep that lower back close to the mat. Exchange. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to tabletop, let's put one leg down and the other leg down. Let's turn over onto our sides, come up to this position, and we'll do a little mermaid stretch. So you're doing really well, bringing the knees forwards. If you want, you can keep your knees like this and the feet sort of near each other together, and then turn the leg up. This is the easiest option. We'll make a rainbow as we inhale. So basically your knees are there, and then you turn the top foot up. Okay, if you want to, level 2, just extend that top leg. So otherwise we'll be here. And then the elbow is underneath the shoulder. Inhale, reach up, make a rainbow over the top. And try not to push your ribs out. Keep the ribs in. Exhale. Lovely. So we're going to do that. Let's do it 8 times. Inhale, nice and smooth. Exhale. So I'm going to extend the top leg rather, and I'm going to keep going. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale over. And exhale. Just careful that your ribs don't push outwards. Keep them in. Inhale over. Exhale to lower down. When you've done 8, we'll come down into this position. We're going to do hand on the floor above the head. So we're going to lie down and stretch the legs out. Stretch the legs out. So the hand is going to go in front on the mat, and then we'll bring the ribs in. So not to flare the ribs out, just bring them in towards the hips, and then we'll turn the heels together, toes out. Exhale. I'm going to bring that leg up. I'm going to flex at the top. and then I'm going to inhale down. So as I lift the leg, I'm going to squeeze that cube inside the pelvis. Exhale, squeeze the cube. It's basically squeezing the pelvic floor in and upwards, and the transverse abdominis, that is bringing the navel towards the spine. Exhale, squeeze the cube. Inhale to come down. Try not to move your body, just your leg. Exhale to squeeze. This is level 1, so we're going to do 12 of these if you can. Quite a powerful exercise in so many ways. Level 2, if you want, you can raise the lower leg off the floor, and level 3, you can take the arm up as well. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Keep going. So we'll do 12. Five and 6 and 7 and 8, 9. So when you've done 12, we're going to come straight over to the other side. So we'll come up to sitting and just bring the legs over to the other side for our mermaid stretch. So we're going to do 8 of these. Elbow's going to be underneath the shoulders. Stack the shoulders, stack the hips, and then this can be a level 1, so just turn that knee up and the foot's on the floor. So we go, inhale, let's make a rainbow. And here, just check you're not flaring the ribs to the front. Bring them in a bit. Reaching over and then coming down. So we go 8, 7, and if you want, you can have the leg out, level 2. Inhale, reach, make a rainbow. Exhale to come down. Nice big bit of breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Should feel good. Inhale to come up. And exhale. And when you've done 8, you can come down into the next position. So again, ribs in towards the hips, so don't flare them out. Bring them in, hips stacked, shoulders stacked, and then we'll go exhale, flex, inhale down. So trying to stay on your side, squeeze that cube in here like a Rubik's Cube you've got in here, and you have to squeeze it, make it smaller. Exhale to squeeze, and it depends how you're feeling. You could come to here or wherever doesn't feel too exaggerated for you, something nice and manageable. At the moment, if you're newly postnatal, small is quite good actually, to not widen the legs like this. Actually trying to encourage the pelvis quite literally back together. So also that the muscles are a bit more pliable at the moment, so they don't need that huge stretch because they're pretty stretchy anyway. So we don't want to overdo it. Inhale down. Level 2, if you've got the lower leg up, you just keep the body still. So say level 2 postnatal, that can be once you've been exercising, you've got a bit of core strength back, perhaps the baby's a bit bigger now and you're feeling stronger and you've got a bit of sleep back. and you're feeling ready for a progression. So when you've done your 12, let's come up to sitting. Come up to sitting again. And we're just going to do a little bit of arm work, fingertips behind the bottom, and then walk the hands back a bit, and we're going to lift the chest. So we're going to lift the chest and bend to the back, and then come up. So keep lifting in the chest. Center of the chest, lift it up, so the sternum, and then elbows straight back and up. Inhale back, exhale up, inhale and exhale. So maybe look up a little bit, try not to dip the chin down, open out the chest, look up a little bit, not all the way, maybe up to the corner of the room. And using the triceps at the back of the arms. If you want to, you can come up off the floor and progress. So I'm going to come up here and bend to the back and extend. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to do 8, 7, 6, and 5, 4, and 3, 2, and 1, and then I'm going to come back to sitting. Lovely. Bringing the arms wide to here. So I'm going to put my feet in line with the hips and take the arms wide. Keeping both sit bones planted down into the mat. I'm going to sweep over the top, but keep both hip bones planted into the mat. Inhale and exhale. Inhale through center and exhale. Inhale through center and exhale. Keep both sit bones planted in. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to bring the arms back here, and then I'm going to hug a tree. Round the back and hug a tree. And exhale, squeeze the tummy and come back up. Get as tall as you can now. Let's bring the arms up and clasp the hands up above the head. Reach up as tall as you can, and then bring the arms wide. Let's hug a tree again. Squeeze the tummy in, and then come back up to sitting. And reach up, clasp the hands, reach up as tall as you can. And then we're going to bring your hands down onto the floor, and we're going to just take one ear over to one side, one shoulder, and center. Sitting up nice and tall, up through the crown of the head, and then taking the ear down to the other side, and center. Lovely. We're going to do one more thing. So we're going to go bend the elbows. Inhale, prepare. Exhale. I'm going to curve over like I'm diving over, curving over a big beach ball. And then I'm going to exhale, come up, back to this position here. And then I'm going to curve over again. And squeeze the core muscles to come back up to sitting. Nice and tall. Inhale first. Exhale to dive over. And then coming back up. Lovely. Let's just come up onto all fours. And we'll go like this. We will do elbow to knee. So I'm going to take opposite arm and leg out. And then I'm going to bring the elbow towards the knee. And I'm going to do 16 times, which is really hard actually. Squeeze the tummy, reach, inhale. So when I squeeze the tummy and reach, I'm squeezing and breathing out. So core engagement as you breathe out. Inhale, exhale. So I say 16, but you could do 8. I'm squeezing the pelvic floor as I reach out. I'm going to have a little rest in between sets, and then I'll do the other side. So just going to come down into child's pose and have a little gentle rest. Breathe. And then I'm going to come back up into all fours. I'm going to inhale, prepare, and exhale. I'm going to take the other arm and leg out, and then I'm going to reach towards, inhale, I'm going to bring the elbow towards the knee, and then exhale to extend out. Inhale, exhale. Nice smooth movements. Reach the hand to shoulder height, and the leg comes out to hip level. Each time I'm squeezing the navel in. And when I've done 16 on each side, or 8 on each side, or 12, I'm going to come back down to child's pose again and rest. Reaching out in front. I'm going to start to walk the hands round to one side, just a little bit, and keep them there. So walking the hands round to one side, stretching down the side of the body. Rest there. Bringing the arms back to center. And walk them round. Back the other direction. And hold it there. And then I'm going to come back to center. Lovely. Let's take a hip flexor stretch, because that's a really important stretch, particularly if you're sitting a lot breastfeeding, or just generally it's a good one to be doing. Let's bring one knee forward, and we'll do it like this. So a nice gentle one. Hands underneath the shoulders, and just take one leg straight back. So the knee's on the floor and you're here. So if you want to make it a bit more intense, so the stretch you should feel is in the front of that leg that's gone back. So it's in the hip. So I'm going to come up to here. I'm going to actually push my tail down to feel more of a stretch. But if you want to keep your hands on the floor, that's fine. So if this feels comfiest and you're getting a stretch in the front of the hip, that's fine. Or the further you come up, the more stretch you'll get. So I'm just going to stay there for a moment or two. And then I'm going to do the other side. So I'm going to just bring that knee in. I'm going to stretch the other leg back to here. Hopefully you'll feel a nice stretch in the front of the hip. And if you want to, you could come to here if it feels comfortable to do so. And then I'm going to walk that knee back in. So I'm just going to stretch out the inner thigh now. I'm going to take one leg out to the side, toes are going to face forwards. So I'm on all fours, and then one leg out to the side with the toes facing front. Yeah. Good. So you should feel a stretch on the inside of the leg, the inner thigh. I'm just going to breathe into that stretch for a few moments. And then come back in. bringing the knees back in. We're going to inhale, prepare, and exhale, take the other leg out to the side, toes forward. Stretch the other inner thigh. Breathe into the stretch and then bring the knee back in. I'm going to curl the toes underneath me now, like this. So not everyone can get into this. Hopefully you'll be okay to come up to here with the knees forward. And you should feel quite a stretch down the back of the ankle into the top of the calf when you come to here. Just like you're ready to run a race. So we're going to just stay there for a couple of moments. Stretch out the soleus, which is the bottom of the calf and behind the ankle. So we're going to come down to the mat. We're going to stretch the glutes and then we're going to finish up. So we're going to come down onto the mat into our hook lying position. So we've focused a bit on the core muscles and a bit of muscle balance. So a nice stretch once in a while will do stand you in good stead. So we've got one ankle over the opposite knee. We're going to push the lower back down into the mat and reach through and take the back of the thigh. So you've got one foot on top here, and then you reach through, take the back of the thigh, and just breathe into that stretch all around the hip and the buttock. That's a glute stretch, and breathe nice and deep. Hold it there for a few more moments. And then we'll release the leg down and the other leg down, and we'll swap sides. So other ankle over the opposite knee. Push the lower back down before you reach through. Take the back of the thigh, and we'll just stretch out the glutes there. Breathe into the stretch. And then we'll release that leg down. Turning onto our sides to come back up to sitting. Well done. That was great. Keep thinking about your pelvic floor over the coming week, and perhaps doing 10 in the morning, 10 sets in the evening, the slow ones and the fast ones. So 10 of each, 10 slow ones, slow up, slowly down, and then fast up, slowly down. So 10 of each in the morning and in the evening if you can, and you'll really bring the pelvic floor back, which is a major part of the core system. So I hope you enjoyed that.